What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and today we got the final results for Hero Rises 2025. So I'm going to be discussing that and going to be going over how the bracket for the Voting Gauntlet is going to be looking and what you could expect out of it, the fodder that these units have gotten and which units you could try and prioritize. And at the end, I'm also going to be talking about the TAP rankings and how it shows the decline of player base in FEH. And we could just try and talk about the life of the game that is left. So here, the Hero Rises 2025 has got Emblem Lyn in the first position, and this should not be a surprise. She is the latest Emblem hero. She's extremely powerful, introduces a new mechanic of the style, and her ring is easily one of the strongest, along with Emblem Celica ring. Actually, I would say that Emblem Lyn's ring is the strongest after all, because now we have got on higher ground, lower ground that can provide the warp blocking, so I think it reduces the value of Celica ring a bit more. And then we have got Emblem Sigurd in the second position, so he is also an emblem, gives you the Emblem Sigurd ring. Now, while it's not the most annoying ring to face, it is amazing in your hands because you could put this on a bonus unit in arena and they could simply try and kill something and then retreat. It's really fun for the player. It is not the scariest in the AI's hands compared to Celica ring or Lyn ring. So Lyn is the better unit out of the two now because Sigurd is getting hard counter nowadays with all of the anti-AoE tech with the Stone Train of Attuned Hector, and now we have got Duorea, who does not take much damage out of the AoE specials and she doesn't even need a lot of support. Lyn, on the other hand, can be stopped with a lot of the red far saviors with the right build, but she can still have an ally who can enable the smashing of that kind of far savior with stuff like Attuned Micaiah, Ninja Lucina, or just a bunch of other nukes that we're going to be getting probably in the future. So Lyn being first does make sense. And then we have got Neor Nidhogger, an insane armor unit. She has got twin save built in her weapon and she has got higher ground. And this was the start of a lot of warp blocking. I mean, technically it was Larathra with barricade, but higher ground is amazing. So she is really good as a far savior, even as a near savior if you want to use her with that. And she can even function as an omni tank because of her bulk. So easily one of the best saves in the game and best tanks. And she does have a higher ceiling in Ether Raids because she's going to be able to take advantage of the mythic stats. So she's able to have higher HP, and a lot of people are going to be using to use her in their Ether Raids defense. And then we have got Ninja Lucina. She is not the most insane unit and not a must-have, but I would say that she is still a consistently good support unit. The Future Witness status is so good and stacked. The fact that it gives you Canto 2 is amazing, and Lucina can position better with her assist, and then she can nuke something with the Lyn ring, and her nuking potential is not bad. She has got the quad attacks, she has got a lot of true damage on every single hit, and there's also the detect skill that she comes with. And the best thing about the support that she can provide is the fact that it is middle of the turn, so Freyr cannot cleanse it, and Freyr is going to be something that you're absolutely going to be seeing on the top tier teams. So against them, Lucina can help you have the support on your Lyn ring user, and she can even try and pre-charge her miracle, try and survive armors that may have hardy bearing or are just too bulky, so that can be a bit annoying for them. And then we have gotten Attuned Hector. If Duorea didn't come out, then I would say that he is the best near savior, but right now there's no way that Duorea is not a near savior, and they strategically released Duorea right after the voting of this Hero Rises. But still, Attuned Hector is an incredible unit, mainly because he's able to set up the stone tiles. So setting up the stone tile protects you against Emblem Sigurd, who has got the 5 movement, who can threaten a lot of area. And if you are not able to defend against him, then he can just go in and attack, get the extraction, retreat, or kill another unit and then retreat with its Canto if you don't have Canto control on your team. So Attuned Hector is the far savior, which a lot of people are going to be using in combination with either Duorea, or they're going to be using Neor Nidhogger with Duorea. So Hector is pretty much in the top 3, I would say, and he also has good fodder with the Distant Counter Echo, and Wily Fighter 4. Then we've got Attuned Temera. In my opinion, she is still the best infantry Omni tank in the game. The damage output that she's got with Sandstorm is amazing. She's got the Bulwark effect built in her weapon, so that is really underrated, and that can help you not get sniped with your backline units, and she can also provide you with the good fodder being an attuned unit. Then we have gotten Legendary Ira, the latest legendary unit, and this might sound a bit crazy, but I do think that Legendary Ira is the best sword infantry in the game, better than Brave Felix. The reason being is that Legendary Ira can kill a lot of near saves, a lot of these tanks, regardless of if they have, Shield Fighter or not, because Crusader's Astra enables her to pretty much disable those kinds of specials on the enemies. And she also has the potent follow-up attack, and she gives out that kind of support. So Brave Felix has a lot of trouble killing the Shield Fighter near saviors. Like, he cannot even kill a Shield Fighter Brave Edelgard. I have her on my Aetheryte's defense, so it does get hard. And he also fell a bit because now we've gotten a lot of warp blocking. First we got Barricade, then we got Higher Ground, which was going to be used on far saviors like Nidhogre and Nidhogre. Then Lower Ground, which is also going to be used on Nidhogre, and Duorea. So those kinds of units are going to be there on the top tier team. So you're not immediately going to be able to engage with the Celica Ring, and you'll have to use your action first, which is not going to be the biggest deal, but still it does limit the options. So I'm not saying that he's bad, it's just that he has fallen off a bit. And overall as a unit, I think that Legendary Ira brings more to the table right now in the metagame because of the insanely tanky units that we've gotten. And she is the melee nuke, along with Neurorest Velgar, I would argue. And then ending off top 8, we have got Mythic Nidhogre, who started all of this mess. So we've got double Nidhogre. Both of them are really strong, but I kind of prefer Mythic Nidhogre a bit more because of her red color, which can give you the advantage in certain matchups against a lot of the range units that are going to be coming at you. And I also like the debuffs that she can do, because the support that Neo Nidhogre provides is good, but it can still be given out by other units. But the debuffs that she gives is anti-Frayr because it's inflicted in middle of the turn. So I definitely like that, and she's a mythic, so you can have the role compression, and that way you could have an offensive team, kill a lot of things, and then tank the rest of the team with your Mythic Nidhogre. Though I'm a bit surprised that we have another snake in top 8. I thought maybe only one of them, and that would be newer Nidhogre. I think Mythic Nidhogre would have been a bit lower, and maybe an Emblem Hero in the top 8. So here we have got Emblem Celica right outside of the top 8. I wish she was in it because she is also one of the best rings, even though it is starting to get countered, but still amazing ring. Not that amazing of a unit, but still decent enough. And I'm glad I didn't wait for the Hero Rises to get my Emblem Celica on my free-to-play account, because that would have been quite painful. And then we have got Emblem Ike on the 10th position. So again, not the most insane ring, but still helpful, but it's likely on the lower end. And Emblem Ike used to be one of the best units in the game, if not the best one, but he has fallen off a bit where he is taken out by AoE specials by a lot of really strong units nowadays. So I wouldn't say that he is the best Omni tank. I would probably still give that title to Attuned Temera that we did see in the top 8. And then we have got Desert Ike that we just got. So Desert Ike is also really good, but he's not as good as you would think. So he's kind of missing the mark by a little bit, but still he is one of the best Omni tanks that we have got for the infantry class type. Winter for Mortis was sparkable on the Winter banner. He's also a really good savior, and I would say that he is a better shield fighter savior than Tuo Fiorm, because for Mortis actually has some bulk while Fiorm does not. And now with the Lin Ring, people are going to be using Bridal Catria and a lot of other stuff, so you need to have the raw bulk. Then we have got Hathran, Duo Hathran. So she can provide the healing, but she's not as bulky as Mythic Hathran. She does have her uses, but I don't think she's as insane as Mythic Catherine. Then we have got Athos. The reinforced mechanic is again not the best in Ether Raid's defense, but Athos himself is a really solid unit, hits so hard. He can make use of the Lin Ring, he can provide good support. So I'm a bit surprised that he is not higher up here, especially, you know, being above for Mortis, who was sparkable. Then we have got Duo Winter Allier. So he is underrated. His damage output is amazing. He also has Miracle. So all of these Miracle units are annoying along with Duo Rhea. And then we have got Summer Gulvic, good ranged Gale Force unit, but I would say that Valentine Claude is simply better than her when it comes to this. But you know, again, we cannot really vote for that. So she's here. Then Ectanier, and he is quite popular. Also a strong cleanup unit, still has a lot of uses. And then we have got Ice Tribe Fiorm. For a while, she was the best savior, but I would say that that's not the case anymore. There are two Nidhoggers. There is a tuned Hector. I think those are a lot better in the Lin Ring metagame. Before Lin Ring metagame, she did have a lot of things going for her, but now because she doesn't have a lot of bulk, it's kind of easy to kill her, even if she's running Hardy Bearing. So the unpierceable damage reduction can save you until a certain point if you don't have the raw bulk, and that's the case with Fiorm. And this, I don't know why it happens. Like Ascended Fiorm came out, and then after a couple of months, you know, we got Duo Crom, who ended her career, and now we have got Ice Tribe Fiorm. She had it good for a while, and now we have got Emblem Lin, who destroys her career. And then we've got Brave Felix, who is in the normal summon pool, but still he is a strong unit. He has got good fodder, but you know, when it comes to the sheer value, he is inherently going to be lacking it because of not being any kind of special type of unit. And then at the end, at 20 position, we have got Emblem Marth. So we did have him in the Hero Fest, so that's probably the reason why he's so low. The Voting Gauntlet with the top 8 is going to be starting at the end of February. For most people, it is going to be at start of March, and whoever wins in it, they are going to be distributed as the free unit. And there's less pressure this time because all of these 8 units are going to be on the Hero Rises banner. So only the first position one matters because they are going to be given to everyone for free, and all 8 of these units are going to be on the summon banner. This is good and also bad. Bad because you're going to be having less overall chances as you have more units, and this is what the bracket is going to be looking like for the Voting Gauntlet. So Lin is going to be going up against Mythic Nidhogger, Lucina against Hector, Sigurd against Ira, and then Newer Nidhogger against Temera. So in the previous years, it had to be that you needed to get past the round 1 to be on the Hero Rises banner. And last year, they also made a banner with a Hero Rises losers, but I guess they realized that's not making enough profit, so they just decided to combine it. And the battle here is mainly for the first position. And these were my votes. I do not really reveal my votes until the voting is over. I don't really want to have any kind of influence. And yeah, I just forgot to vote for a day. My bad. So I mainly voted for Ninja Lucina and then Legendary Ira and Attuned Hector. I would like to get these units myself personally. I do have a lot of the other units. Newer Nidhogger was also, you know, a unit I would have liked, but I think I like these units a bit more, and also their fodder. And I like the fact that Attuned Hector does not vanish from your barracks because of being an attuned unit. And if, you know, Nidhogger or Newer Nidhogger wins, then history is going to be repeating itself, where they're going to be making nukes that are designed to kill her, similar to how they did with Fallen Edelgard. A lot of units with null follow-up, a lot of units with the piercing. So if that happens, then definitely expect those kinds of units. But if, you know, some kind of emblem unit wins, I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of them are already getting countered. But if it's Emblem Lin, it's probably going to be really, really powerful Far Saviors that are going to be blocking any of those strategies. I mean, the current Far Saviors can already do it, but probably it's going to be, you know, put to a higher degree. This banner is going to be having 6% rate for the 5-star focus summons and no off-focus summons, and even if you do not have Fate Pass, you can summon 40 times and then spark for free. And this is why this banner is so valuable, because these units that are present here are usually not going to be available on a sparkable banner. They are going to be available on a Fate Pass sparkable banner, which not everyone is going to be having access to. And some of these are present on the Mythic, Legendary, and Emblem Hero banners, which really suck with their RNG, so it becomes really hard to get them. And now I just want to go over the fodder and how you can plan which unit you want to summon for depending on their fodder, depending on their type. So this can just give you a quick overview. So we have got Emblem Lyn. She is an Emblem Hero, and she also gives you Speed Taker and Panic Smoke. I wouldn't say that her fodder is too good, but it can be useful if you have these player phase units or archers that can make use of Speed Taker, and they already have some kind of piercing and stuff. And then we've got Emblem Sigurd, and he is the only unit in the game with Momentum 4, and we still haven't gotten a seasonal unit with Momentum 4. And we already have a second Speed Taker unit. So Emblem Sigurd provides a lot of value to the Cavaliers with the Excel and Momentum skill. Now, this is a question that a lot of people ask me, if you should be merging up your Emblem units or you should be foddering them. Now, the answer depends on, how seriously you take Fate. If you are, semi-competitive or hardcore competitive, or even just a little bit competitive, then I personally have a really hard time foddering these Emblem Heroes, because I know that their skills are going to be showing up on seasonal units later on. Like Poten was shown up with Brattle Sharina, and then there was another unit with Poten, Disarm, and Rearm Soth. So even their, side grades are going to be showing up. Then we have got Resonance on Harmonic Nefni and also on Ninja Tharja. Momentum is still not available yet, but it is probably going to be after the Hero Rises banner, I'm thinking. And Lagu's friend of Emblem Ike was also there on Summer Gold Mary after a couple of months, and then it was present on an attuned unit like Attuned Tamara. So it was even easier to get that skill, as she wouldn't go away from your barracks being an attuned unit, and she is in the top 8. And then we had Speed Taker, and in just a few days we got another Speed Taker unit in Legendary Ira. So that's why I feel like not foddering these units, and I simply merge them up. The reason being is that these are equipable stats. Of course, stats don't really matter much nowadays, but I would say that it is from the sense that spending orbs and valuable resources chasing after merges. But if you already have the copies of these Emblem Heroes, then you could try and merge, and you can equip those stats on any unit on your barrack. And these Emblem units are here to stay. They're going to be on the special banners a lot of the times. They're going to be color sharing, they're going to be on the Hero Fest. So eventually, over the years or over the months, you're going to be having more copies of them, and slowly the merge count is going to be increasing. So that is something you could take advantage of. And usually the shelf life of a skill is not that insanely high in the modern times. It is going to be 6-7 months at the best, and you really have to be an exception to stick longer or have an amazing utility. So that's something you'll need to keep in mind. But if you're just a casual player, then yeah, you can fodder off your Emblem Heroes. And I don't really think that any of these units that are in top 8 really have any business going to plus and merge unless it is for arena scoring. +1 merge is all you need nowadays on these kinds of modern units, and you don't really need plus and merge to get everything out of them. They already have such insane and absurd effects that even at +1 merge or unmerged, they perform insanely well, and +10 isn't going to be completely changing it. Of course, it does help in the arena scoring for armors like Hector, for these Intokers, and also for a legendary unit like Ira. Coming back to the fodder, we have got Newer Nidhogre with Slick Fighter 4 and Higher Ground and Sturdy Beast. So Slick Fighter 4 is an amazing skill, it's a better reopening, and I do like Wily Fighter 4 a bit more, just on the principle that it lets you ignore the visible buffs of the enemies. But Slick Fighter is nice for a unit like Marnie who already has that kind of dull all effect, and Sturdy Beast is amazing for most of the beast units that are going to be having high defense. Higher Ground is a bit limited as it's only inhittable to Dragon and Beast armors, so not a lot of units that can make use of it, but still, if you have a +10 for Mortis or, +10 Mufasa, then it may be helpful for you. And Ninja Lucina has got 4 fodder, but there's no way you can get all 4 of them because Shadow Shift is going to be eating 4 inherent slots, which is insane. So then you gotta make the decision between Flared Sparrow or Detect, and 9 out of 10 times you will be choosing Detect because it's an insane skill that can provide you the lull speed defense on a global range if your enemy has got the exposure status. And Flared Sparrow is nice, but not the best slotty skill even for her. And then we have got Attuned Hector with Armored Beacon, Wily Fighter. So Distant Counter Echo is going to be a skill that many units can run to free up their slotty and their Sacred Seal slot to just stack up a lot of stats or have effects like Hardy Bearing. So it is definitely one of the better ones. And then you have got the Twin Save skill, which is always helpful with the Armored Beacon combo. And Wily Fighter 4, like I said, I do prefer it over Slick Fighter 4. And Shield Fighter is getting countered, as you can see with Ledgering Ira, so it's not that bad to have Wily Fighter 4 and this kind of twin save playstyle. And unfortunately, if you want to inherit all 4 of these skills at the same time, then you need to have Ascended Eden, and she is not the easiest unit to get. She's the only one with the prerequisite of Wily Fighter, so I hope they can stop giving us Vengeful Fighter on the 6 millionth free-to-play armor, because this is needed to optimize. And you also need Attack Defense Far Save 3, so that is even harder to get because at least this is available on Ascended Eden, who can appear on the normal banners, and you could also just randomly get her from the arena tickets as well now. But the version 3 of the Far Save skill is only available on the regular for Mortis, the mythic one, or you want to have Valentine Female Robin. So those 2 are going to be the units, and they're rare. And the other units that inherently have it, they already have the twin save, like Mythic Nidhogre here, or Briar Far Save on Winter for Mortis. So it's a bit annoying to get all of the fodder out of him. I'm still waiting to get a Mythic for Mortis to inherit all of the things from him. Then there is Attuned Temera. They've given us a lot of speed defense finish 3 in the free-to-play pool, but it doesn't mean much because most people are going to be making the choice between picking up Lagoose Friend 4 with Time Pulse Echo or picking up Time Pulse Echo with Breath of Life 4. So Lagoose Friend 4 is still a pretty nice skill for these bulky units. Of course, there is Lagoose Loyalty now, which is preferable if you are faster and if you don't have that much of a bulk. But Lagoose Friend 4 still gives you the piercing, and it's a solid skill. And Breath of Life 4 is also good, but you don't really need it on every single unit. You could just have it on a supportive unit, and most of the time people are going to be foddering her for Lagoose Friend 4 and Time Pulse Echo because we don't have the prerequisite of Lagoose Friend. And Time Pulse Echo is an amazing skill for so many infantry units, for pre-charging things, for just looping their specials. So it's a great skill to free up your slotsy and run other options depending on your weapon type. And then we've got Ledgering Ira in the 7th position. She does have good fodder with Attack Speed Excel, Speed Taker, and Brutal Tempest. Any kind of player phase focus infantry unit could just try and take all of these skills and function with it. And here she gives you more value than Emblem Lin because the finish in Panic Smoke isn't all that good along with Speed Taker, but here you get Excel, which gives you the flat damage reduction, and Brutal Tempest, which could be said that it is better than Endless Tempest because the download effect of it is a lot easier to outsource now. The Cantor remaining +1 movement is not really from Brutal Tempest, so it's good for many of the infantry units. And then at the end we have got Mythic Nidhogre with Sturdy Beast, Slick Fighter, just like Newer Nidhogre, but she's got Attack Defense Twin Far Save. So same thing with the fodder. Newer Nidhogre has got a bit better fodder, I guess, as she can provide the warp blocking, but you may not have the units that can use it. So most people are going to be using Mythic Nidhogger for the regular twin far save on their tank. Before the results of A Hero Rises, they also published the tap count ranking. So if you don't know, tap count ranking is the ranking of the characters, based on how many times they have been tapped by the player on their home screen. So obviously popular characters, the strong characters that are in many players' teams are going to be getting tapped a lot more, because once you go to your home screen, the 4 units from your team are going to be showing up. So if you're trying to collect the feathers and stuff, then you're going to be tapping them, and that can actually correlate to the strength of a unit or the popularity, but not always, I guess, as you'll see. So in 2025, Emblem Ike was at the top because he was an amazing strong unit. So most people had him on their teams. And then Winter Edelgard was the best player phase armor. Now it is going to be Valentine Edelgard. Brave Felix was absurd. Even on auto battle, he just clears everything. And Brave Gulvig was a range Gale Force unit, so I can certainly see her. And Brave Felix, Brave Gulvig are brave units, so a lot more people are going to be having them, compared to the other units. There's also Brave Corrin, and Winter Edelgard was also sparkable on that Winter banner. But still, Ike, despite being not on a sparkable banner, is quite high up, but it's not exactly 1 million taps. Peony was the Hero Rises winner. Brave Edelgard, even after all this time, is still used so much. Alphonse after that, and of course Windtribe Claude was a really good unit for a while, and the Asuka trio is also going to be there because we do have the quests and everything. And Legendary Ike at 24th position is what is even more surprising to me, and Leon and Fomortes just being one after the other, and even Fallen Edelgard on the 15th position. So as you can see, the numbers have dropped. Last year it was Fomortes at the first position, Brave Edelgard, Fallen Edelgard. Like, you'll see Edelgard is a consistent unit on these rankings because she is popular. She also is a good unit. Like, the worst Edelgard you could think of, which is the Academy Edelgard, she is still better than most of the unit that were released during her time. Like, she's got an extra action that's still really, really good. And she's an infantry. And then we have got the other Edelgards who have even better skills, preferred skills like Brave Edelgard, Fallen Edelgard, so does make sense. Lear as well. Again, a lot of brave units here. Summer Edelgard, Asuka Trio, and then free-to-play units, more brave units, and Legendary Ike being in the same position yet again. Ninian was the 30th position, and now we move on to year 2023. So Fallen Edelgard was on the first position, Maria on second position. Now keep in mind that nothing happened that made Maria better as a unit suddenly. No, that's just not anything that happened. It's just that someone botted her. So I'm not gonna explain how you could, easily bot this, but if you know, then yeah, this is extremely easy to do. It doesn't take much, but now I guess they have the anti-botting measures. So that's why Maria was high here. It might seem a bit weird. There's also Mia. I think she was also botted after her release. After so many years, she was just randomly present here. Est, Delthea, Noe. I think you can see a pattern here. So all of these characters were botted. So it just does not make these rankings too accurate, because a lot of the units are pushed off because of these botted units. And again, here you can see the spike. Look at the spike. 5.5 million taps compared to almost 3 million taps of the last year. That's quite a spike. And on E3, she was not the best unit when she came out. I mean, she was good, but still, but she's nowhere near popular. Then we've got Noe. So you can see these two are botters. Then Edelgard, no surprise. Legendary Ike. Yeah, Legendary Ike has always been a strong contender. So if Edelgard is always going to be there, Ike is going to be there with either of his versions. In 2021, Altina, she also won the Hero Rises, I believe, and she was one of the first units to have the damage reduction piercing. And then good old Brave Veronica and Reinhardt, Azira, the best dancer. and Brave Lynn, and this is the end of Brave Lynn here pretty much. There's also Brave Ike and Peony, the free-to-play unit, being absolutely insane. And then last we have got 2020 with Legendary Ike being in the first position with 6 million. And a lot of these old units that just invoke the nostalgia. Alphonse on the 10th position, Sharina is nowhere to be seen. There's Anna on the 9th position, here on the 7th, even Fiorm on the 4th. But yeah, poor Sharina here. And the English Twitter account did not exist until 2019, so there's actually the rankings of 2018, and that is going to be blowing your mind. So we only have the Japanese version of it, but we already understand, we know these characters just by the face. So Anna with the first position in 2018 with 20 million votes. The amount of players that we had was insane at that time. And then Lucina at the second position. I remember so many people tried to get her. She was the 5-star unit that people wanted to get. Robin Takumi, who was the #1 public enemy at the start of the game. Camilla, and then Sharina, Alphonse. It's kind of weird. Anna is at the very top, but now nobody really cares much about Anna from the Asuka trio. I'm not even sure how she's going to be doing in next year's Choose Your Legends. On the other hand, Sharina and Alphonse are doing much better. Alphonse was lower than Sharina, but now, Alphonse is the most popular one out of these, and then Sharina after him. And back in those days, like, Alphonse was really bad to use. People used to just call him bench warmer. And then there's Marth. So just a fun fact, if you combine every single tap count of the top 30 of the 2025 ranking, then it comes out to be 13 million. And here in the 2018 ranking, the 8th position, Marth with 14 million alone beats the entire top 30 of 2025. So there is significant player decline. The complexity of the game has, gone up. The game is also not, beginner friendly, I would say. There's just too many things that are not told to you. You just gotta learn or watch a video or ask someone. So it is amusing to see such an old ranking. And now let's talk about what is gonna be the future of the game. So with the tap battle rankings, we didn't even hit 1 million mark with the first position unit, and that was Emblem Ike. So a lot of people have left the game because the power creep has gotten crazy in this past year. The complexity creep has gotten higher. Trying to make use of your favorites is getting a lot harder, and it does take a lot of resources. So they definitely need to, do things better, but I guess at the rate that they're at, maybe they don't want to in their mind. I'm not sure. I don't really have a $1 billion game that I'm running, so I can only say as a player with limited information. But yeah, there is a fall. There was Fallen Edelgard with 2.5 million, then we got 1 million with Fomortes, and now below 1 million. And this was 6 million in 2020. Of course, there is the botting that you could try and argue, but still the player base has declined. And there's also the fact that we have 1,000+ heroes, so there's just a lot of heroes you could try and have on your team. It's not like you need to have this free-to-play unit or the brave unit on your team, so that probably spreads the taps a bit thin. Dragalia Lost is also a game that was published by Nintendo, and it was having a lot of crossover with Fae, but unfortunately it was shut down eventually. And you can see when its EOS was announced, it was pretty much making 200k USD in a month. So this was its performance, and they tried to shut it down. Now, of course, for anyone like us, this is a big amount, but you gotta remember, this is a game. They have to hire a lot of people, they have to give the salaries, and the high paid salary ones are gonna be in the 6 figures. So it's gonna be a bit harder with this kind of revenue. And Dragalia Lost, unlike Fae, is a bit harder to maintain and just build on, because It does have the 3D models, it just does not have the 2D sprites like us, or just the static art that we have gotten. So it does take a lot more resources and it was not making as much profit. And now let's take a look at the revenue of Fire Emblem Heroes with the declining fan base that we have got. And as you can see, this was of the last month of January, and FEH made 4 million USD. 4 million. This is when like there's a limited amount of player base and it's still making so much. It just surprised me so much. So I guess that has to do with the FEH Pass and the consistent revenue that it can bring in, and it is also because of the whales that we have got. And Fire Emblem is a game where a lot of people played it as a kid and they have a connection to it. I'm not sure if you could say that for other gachas, maybe for something like One Piece or the Dragon Ball Z ones, but still, I guess for me it's probably like that. So that might be a factor. Again, I'm not really an expert on gacha games. This is my first gacha game. So you can compare how FEH is doing now and what was the standard of Nintendo where they thought, okay, we gotta shut down this game. So I think we're a bit far away from there, and FEH also doesn't take much to, maintain and make the new characters. Like I said, it's not like 3D models or like some really complex animations or some kind of even live 2D animation. We don't have that. So it likely has relatively lower costs for making things for it. The voice acting and the arts are probably the most expensive one, I would say. And a lot of weapons, the characters and everything, there is the source material that they could look at and take some inspiration. Like Fire Emblem Engage, for example, it would be a bit hard to implement these emblem rings if it wasn't for Fire Emblem Engage. So I just wanted to talk about this because of the tap rankings that we had got. There is a decline of the tap, so I just wanted to talk about the topics around it. But again, I'm not a gacha expert, so you could let me know in the comments and let me know, which other gachas you play, because some of them, like I've never heard of, and they're earning more than FEH or more than Dragon Ball Z or more than One Piece. So yeah, definitely let me know in the comments. I would love to hear that. And you can click the link on Instagram right now to check out my breakdown of the new weapon refines of this month. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because YouTube sub boxes are about as functional as the amount of actual votes for Maria in 2023's tap ranking count. So with that, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.